everybody, welcome back to Little Bitty Noggins. Today we are going to be making this super cute Dollar Tree pumpkin. All of the bits and baubles that are used to create this, the flower pick from the Dollar Tree, and the yarn is also from Dollar Tree. And this is the second pumpkin, so I made this one with the same skein of yarn that we've got right here. And we will have been able to make two pumpkins from one skein of Dollar Tree yarn. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so what you are going to need for this is your Dollar Tree yarn, your Dollar Tree floral pick with leaves, flowers, and berries if you want them, a hot glue gun with glue sticks, I got this tiny little piece of stick from my backyard. Same with this one here. And you are going to need some scissors and a yarn needle. So a yarn needle and some scissors, along with a 5.5 crochet hook, because that is what is recommended on our yarn skein right here. All right, so jumping right in, we are going to leave a long tail at the beginning of our work here, so we can cinch it closed, cinch the pumpkin closed when we are done. So we're gonna make our slip knot, which I know a lot of crocheters use their crochet hook to create their slip knots. I was never able to figure out how to do that, so I just use my fingers, and I take 3 fingers, wrap the yarn around them, create an X here, and then take the working yarn and tuck it underneath the first loop, and then pull it out like that, creating my slip knot. Then it'll tighten up there. Put your hook in there and just pull it tight. Alright, so we've got our long tail for cinching at the end, and we are going to chain 13. Alright, there's 13. Also forgot you're going to need some polyfill to stuff your little squishy guy. Alright, so we're going to do a half double crochet into each chain, starting from the 3rd chain from the hook. So we count out 1, 2, 3, insert our hook. After yarning over, insert our hook, yarn over again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And that's our first half double crochet. We are going to be doing 11 half double crochets across our chain. So we yarn over, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, all the way across. Great job. So these pumpkins, not only are they a great price point, but they are also pretty easy to make. So they're done using a half double crochet in the 3rd loop. So the 3rd loop, it's a little sneaky. So if you look at your work after you've chained 1 and turned, you've got your back loop here, your front loop here, and then when you look at the front or the facing work that you've just made, there's this 3rd loop right here. And that is the one that you are going to be working into when you are doing your half double crochet in the 3rd loop. So we yarn over, insert our hook into that 3rd loop, yarn over again, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through all 3. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And we are going to do that all the way across. And that last 3rd loop can be a little evasive, So once we get there, I'm going to show you where it is. because it doesn't quite look like the rest of the third loops. Come on. This one here. And then, all right, so here we are at the end of our last, or the end of our row in the last stitch. So if you kind of shift your work a bit, you can see your back loop, your front loop, and then if you look right here, your third loop is right there. It's a little bit evasive. So we yarn over, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all three. And if you are unsure if you've got the correct spot, or if you're unsure that you did enough stitches, always count your stitches, because you don't want your work to end up going up and shrinking, and you also don't want to accidentally create too many stitches and have it growing in width. So you can count your stitches by counting the number of V's that you have here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got our 11 stitches. And what I was going to show you guys earlier is the really cool texture that this stitch creates. It almost makes it look like a braid is happening in the, like, in the vertical here. And I actually have a hat that I've been working on. I've shown it in some of the other how-to videos, and it has the half double crochet in the third loop as a couple of its rows. And it just gives really great texture to projects that you're making. And for these pumpkins, it adds the ridges like a pumpkin has. So it's really neat. All right, so on to the next row. We are going to chain up 1, turn our work, yarn over, and start doing it all again. So we're gonna just do our half double crochets in the third loop all the way down. Awesome thing about these pumpkins is they would make a great hostess gift. So if you are planning on going to somebody's house for a fall get-together or a Halloween party or Thanksgiving, these would go great with a bottle of wine, or just like create a cute little basket of Dollar Tree items and then add these really cute pumpkins that you made along with it. And you know, it's just a great thank you gift for having me over at your house. It's great. You could also use them to decorate yourself. You could put them on your mantle or on your Thanksgiving table. They could go anywhere that a little bit of fall decor you feel is needed. Because why not decorate for fall? Fall is a beautiful time to decorate for. And what's great about these pumpkins is they don't have to be orange. If you can find if you want to make a Halloween one, you could go to the Dollar Tree and get some of their Halloween picks. They've got some like black roses and black, all kinds of pretty purple, and they've got little bats and spiders and stuff on them. You could do a Halloween themed pumpkin. You could use purple yarn or black yarn. You could do a teal or turquoise pumpkin if you want to support the teal pumpkin, like the group that for children who have autism, who carry teal pumpkins to let people know that, hey, I don't interact with others the way that a neurotypical child does. And it just lets people know. You could make one with teal. Or you could do a beige one. Depending on what your home decor is, you could make it however you want to and decorate it however you want to. You could use ribbon. You could use, raffia, make a raffia bow to put around the stem. You don't have to use the dollar store flowers. You could go and, You could go more expensive. You could use a bulky weight yarn that you got from like Michael's or Joann. And you could use a cinnamon stick as the stem if you want it to smell good. There are just so many options that you could use in order to make this how you want to make it. The pattern is super diverse. You could use it any which way. And just for hook size and stuff like that, go with what the yarn skein says. So look at the spot where you've got your yarn hook size here, you've got knitting needle size here, and then the size of the yarn there. This recommends an I9. Other yarns, a bulky yarn, might have you use a bigger hook. And smaller yarns would have you use a smaller hook. It just depends. But you could do all kinds of fun stuff with this pattern. Doesn't just have to be an orange pumpkin for fall. All right. So for this pumpkin, we are going to want to have the length of our work be double the size of the width of our work. So I want to say I'm probably getting to the halfway point in the next couple of rows. So we're just going to keep chugging along here. And you can see the texture that this crochet stitch is creating on this pumpkin. It's kind of cool. Wait 1 second, I'm going to finish this row and then I'll show you. So it's on both sides. If you look here, we've got the ridging here, and then we've also got the ridging here, because we're going into the back loop, and every time we turn, or the third loop, and every time we turn, it switches. But we're only going to see one side of it. So we continue on our stitching journey to make this pumpkin. All right. So, is there anything that you guys would like to see me create? Is there anything that you have been wanting to learn how to make that you would like to see me do and help you make? I would love to hear from you. The comment section is open if you would like to offer up some ideas. You know, Halloween is coming. It's real close. Thanksgiving's after that, and then, you know, Christmas and New Year's and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and all of those fall holidays that are coming. It's definitely a very fast time of year. It just feels like the days go by so much faster, and just the weeks end up flying by. Here we are, middle of October, and at the blink of an eye, we're going to be at Thanksgiving. And then another blink later, we're going to be at Christmas. And it just keeps flying. And I appreciate you guys spending time with me. It's pretty awesome being able to teach people how to do something that they want to learn how to do. It's kind of awesome. All right, so I'm unsure if there needs to be a stitch right here. So what I'm going to do, I haven't been counting very well. And I am going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to put one more stitch at the end here. And it's going to go in there. It was being sneaky and I couldn't see it to start with. See, even I have a hard time sometimes. All right, so we're going to continue stitching away. This pumpkin's going to be super cute when it's done. All right. $11 stitches. Come on. There it is. All right. So here's where we're at now. If we fold this down, that's our halfway point. So we are going to need to do probably about three or four, I want to say 3 more rows to get double our width. Let's see, I'm not even really counting rows right now. I'm just going by measurements. And you could use a ruler if you wanted to. I just fold mine kind of like a paper airplane, like you just saw me do, to find out how much more I need to use. But we are definitely getting there. And I might add a couple more just to give myself a little extra length. Ooh, got a little bit of a knot here. Got balled up. Or as us yarnies call it, I got yarn vomit. When we try to pull out the center pull of a skein and half of the skein comes with it. It's not fun. Alrighty. So we just keep on stitching. Yep, there we go. Let's give me a second to pull this out. Alright. What else do we need to pull out here? Like that. It's like it made its own slip stitch or slip knot. Alright, one more here. Come on, buddy. There you are. Alright. So we've got half there. Alright, so we're going to do 3 more rows, I think. We'll look after 2 and see if we need a third. We might not need a third. And look at that. We still have all of that yarn left. We might be able to make 3 pumpkins out of that skein of Dollar Tree yarn. We're definitely getting our money's worth. $1.25. Yes, please. One, 2, there's the third loop. Boop. Okay. And now for this, we want to make sure that our working yarn is on the same side. So we are going to need to do at least one more row of stitches after this one, because our working yarn is down here, or not our working yarn, but our cinching yarn is down here, and we want our working yarn to be on the same side because we are going to slip stitch the side of our pumpkin closed, and we want to end up with our working yarn on the opposite side as our long tail from the beginning, so we can cinch the top and bottom without having to add anything to the pumpkin in order to do so. Alright, so here we are, a few more stitches, and then we are going to close up our pumpkin. Right. This, after we slip stitch the pumpkin closed, we are going to use our yarn needle. So make sure you have that yarn needle ready. Alright, so there's the last stitch for this one. Now we've got both the working yarn and the long tail on the same side. So what we are going to do is we are going to fold our pumpkin in half, or our work in half, and we are going to insert our hook back into our working yarn, and we're going to chain 1, and we are going to be going into the back loop here of the area we were just working in. And we are also going to be going into the back loop of our chain that we made to start the pumpkin. So we are going to take our working yarn and we are going to insert it into the back loop and insert it into our chain. And we are going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And we are going to continue doing that same thing. So back loop, chain loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. We're going to do that all the way down. So back loop, chain loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Back loop, chain loop, pull through all 3. And what this is doing is it is going to be creating the look of the ridges, or the ridge that we have with the back loop, or the 3rd loop crochet, half double crochet for a closure. So we want to just make sure we're getting all of these. So there's one more right here. So back loop, chain loop, yarn over, pull through. Okay. And then here we are going to yarn over and pull through the working loop, and we are going to pull out a length of yarn, and we are going to cut off that, pull our tail through, and pull tight. All right, so now we are left with a tube. So we've got this tube here, and then if you look, we've got yarn tails on either side, and those tails are what's going to help us close up our work here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my yarn needle, and I am going to thread it with the yarn from one side. And what I'm going to do is I am going to cinch up the top or the bottom side of this pumpkin. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to insert my hook just into the top of any of these stitches. Each row is going to need its own cinch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just insert my hook here and then pull it out right before this first rib. Pull it, and then I'm going to put it back through right after that first rib, and I'm going to come up right before that next rib, put it over and back through, come on, right there, and then come back right before the rib. So what it's doing is it's making just a drawstring to close everything up. And you don't want a whole bunch of material gathering, because it won't close correctly if you do that. Go like this. Okay. Continue over the ridge, under the flat part, over the ridge, under the flat part, till we get to the beginning, which should be like right here. And then we just pull the yarn here and it cinches it closed. So there's still a little bit of a hole. Let's see. Did it cinch everything? I think I may have. I need to put one more stitch right there, just to make sure that everything closes up. Cinch it tight. Look at that. It looks great. And then we're going to take our hook and we are going to insert our hook just into any area where our tail has come up, and we are going to go through that loop right there and create a knot. So this is going to stop that cinch that we've got there from coming back out again. It's stuck there now. All right, so there's our closure. And if you want to, you can take your yarn needle and just kind of go in and out of a couple of other areas if it makes you feel better and makes you want it to be a little bit more secure. Sometimes you just want to make sure that it's not gonna open back up. All right, so we do that. And then what you can do is just take your yarn needle and push it through the center and pull it up through the bottom. Like so. So now we've got our pumpkin here, our pumpkin cup. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to thread my yarn needle so I don't have to do it after I have stuffed my pumpkin. So we're going to thread that needle, and then we are going to grab a small amount of polyfill, and it's going to go right into this little cup. So I tend to not stuff my items that I'm creating until the very end, because sometimes when you're stitching around, the polyfill tends to get pulled through by the yarn, and I don't really like how that looks. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna do the same thing that I did prior and cinch this up, close it up until I have about 75% of it closed up, and then I'm gonna stuff it some more. Or what you could do is you could just, oh, did I do that? Nope, hold on. Round like so, under and around, under, okay. Try to stay as close to the top as possible. All right, we are getting there, because you don't want a whole bunch of the yarn at the top to be gathering. Kind of just want it to cinch closed and not be bulky at the top. Because if it's too bulky, it's not going to close correctly. All right, close. Okay, so now that we are just about there, we are going to take some more polyfill and we are going to stuff the pumpkin. I might need more polyfill. And if your pumpkin's not perfect, that is okay. I always tell my daughters, practice makes progress. Practice does not make perfect. And it's an important lesson to learn. Nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. And it's okay. All right. So we've got our pumpkin here. And we are going to take our tail. Hopefully I've got to the point where I'm at the beginning. Close that up. Grab a couple of these extra little spots right there to make sure it's closed. Scoop up a couple areas in the center, like so. Oops, sorry. I'm bumping y'all. So we've got a nice area right there. And then we're going to make our knot. So what's cool about this is you don't need to make too many changes to the top unless you really want to secure it. You can. But, all right, so here's our little, this is a teeny pumpkin. All right, what I did is I took my yarn needle and I just kind of went directly down and into the pumpkin and pulled it out the bottom side. And then we're going to just snip the working yarn there. And this is the point where you can look and see, do I like the bottom side better to be at the top, or do I like the top side better? And honestly, I think I'm going to put my decorations here. This looks a little bit tighter than the bottom does, or the top does. I think I'm going to put my decorations here. So, with your hot glue gun, it's got dog hair on it. Mine's been heating up since I started making this video. We're going to put some glue in the center to add our little stem guy here. If you are a kid, please get help from a grown-up to use the hot glue gun. Nobody wants you to get burned, so please pause the video, go run and grab a grown-up, ask for help with your hot glue gun. Alright, we're going to take our glue gun and we are going to apply just a small dollop in the center top of our pumpkin, and we are going to take our stick and just blop it right on top. So we've got, you could stop there. You could be all done if you wanted to. Or you can be extra like me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors. Ooh, I bumped you again with my head that time. And I'm going to add some of these little Dollar Tree flowers because they're so cute. Just like that. And then, let's see here. I think I'm going to use this little piece of berry down at the bottom. Grab my scissors and snip that right off. And you might have to add a little bit more hot glue where you're going to put the thing. Got hot glue spider webs that can get plucked off afterwards. And then you just stick your little berries on there as well. You'll make sure that everything's situated nicely. And there you have it. Super cute little holiday decor pumpkin. We've got two different ones. This one I used a J hook for. This one I used an I hook for. Same amount of stitches, just a different size hook. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you have any ideas on what I should make next, please leave a comment. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with people who you think would love to learn how to crochet. I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Have a good one. Bye!